Happy, or should I say joyful Sunday, Awaken. Hello. It is so good to be in the place and in the space with all of you all that are here in the building with us, all of you all that are joining us online. I am Minister Kami, and I'm so excited to start us off, to kick us off today. How many of you know that you are at the right place at the right time for the right reason? And so all you need to do is just receive it, right? All the good, all the God that is coming to you. Welcome to Awaken Spiritual Community. For those of you that are here visiting with us for the first time in person and online, this may be your first time here. And then every single time you come back after, guess what? You are now family, Douglas. You are now family, right? You are now family. We want to invite you as well to connect with us. Send a text message, the word LOVE, to the number that is on the screen right now. It is 844-992-3033. Text the word love to that number, and then what'll happen is that means you're connected. So you will know all of the upcoming events, because we have delicious events, delicious invitations and opportunities to be able to support community, to be able to learn and get educated, right? And so we want you to know that. So I'm going to leave that up on the screen for just a few more minutes so that you can text the word LOVE to that number. And while you're doing that, I want to encourage you, while you have your phone in your hand, those of you that are in the building with us, please turn your cell phones to silent right now in this very moment. We want this to be a really awesome experience for everyone. And so that helps when we turn our phones to silent. Yes, let's go ahead and do that, yes? Excellent. And now if you would, just take a breath with me and let it out. Let's do that again. Can we take a collective breath? Just inhale. And you might want to even close your eyes in this moment. I invite you to do that, to just kind of block out any external distractions and go inward, right? Just to go inward. Exhale, inhale, and then exhale. And what we know is that there is so much power in that breath. That breath reminds us that we are here now. That we are here now. And that we are here now. I invite you to know something with me. I invite you to know that there is one presence, there is one energy, there is one universe, there is one God, one life that flows in, through, shows up as all of creation. That includes me right here and right now. That includes you right here and right now. So because I know that, I can also say that all of the characteristics that I assign to the God that is within me, I can also assign to me. So when I look at you, I see God. When you look at me, you see God. And whatever it is that you feel you need in this moment or for the next hour, I declare that it will be given to you. Amen? Yes, because we know already that Rev Ned, who is going to deliver the talk, that Julian, who is going to tinkle these ivories, right? That everything that is going to come is coming as God in working through and coming out to you. Yes? To receive it, we're open and we're ready. Amen. Ashe. And so it is. And so it is. And so it must be. So right now we take an opportunity, as we go to the next slide, that allows us to greet each other. Right? We call this our meet and our greet. And so I want to encourage you, if you're joining us online, this is your opportunity to drop right now in the chat where you are joining us from. And I invite you that are in the building to stand up if you want to. You can hug, you can handshake, right? Or you can do a namaste, you can do a Wakanda forever, right? You can do a hey. But we're going to remind you that there is one love, one light, one life, and shining brightly right now, yes.
one life, one light, and we're shining brightly. One love, one life, yes, one light, and we're shining brightly. One love, one life, yes, one light, and we're shining brightly. It's so good to see all of these faces in the room, and you can go back and to your seats when you feel led. And we're shining brightly. One love, one life, one light. We're shining brightly. Those of you online, we appreciate your energy that you're sharing with us. And those of you in the room, you all can make your ways back to your seats right now.
Yes, yes. If you didn't catch those words, it's one love, one light, and then one life. Might not be in that same order, but you understand. Shining brightly. Yes? Awaken is one love, one light, one life, shining brightly. I love it. I love it. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. And so now I want to remind us of... There we go. Our vision and our mission. We like to do this every week because it level sets us, right? It reorients us or orients us, depending on where you are, to why we are here in the first place. So read this with me. I invite you to. Our vision statement: we are a global community that recognizes, honors, and nurtures the dignity and uniqueness of all people and the oneness of creation. Yes, 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 yes. And we do that on a day-to-day basis through our mission. Read this with me, if you will. We connect through the energy of loving kindness, spiritual practice, and sacred service. Yes, that is who we are and what we do. And now we have so many announcements. Some good stuff, right? So get out your phone because you are going to want to take some pictures of this. If you're online, take some screenshots. Go ahead and be prepared. How many of you are familiar with The Matrix? Yes. I introduced this to my family literally within this last week. Really? Yeah, it was for the 4th of July. I was like, yeah, it was amazing. They were like, okay, we're going to finally see this thing that you're talking about. Right, right. So July 24th, guess what? We are offering movie night. Yes. Talk about community. Yes. At 7 p.m., we are watching The Matrix. And this is number 1. We know that there are 3 now, right? The Matrix, number 1. 3 or 4? Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Yes. Okay. With the Heartlight community. Wonderful. So we want to go ahead, put that on our calendars. Let's invite our family, our friends, those that are interested. I'm seeing that there's going to be some popcorn there, probably, some other snacks if you want to bring them, right? And this, I will say as a mother of a teenager, that if you have teenagers, this is perfect too, for them to come and see. They might think that it's old-timey because some of the effects and stuff, but this is awesome. So make sure that is on your calendar. Also, July 26th, later this month, a couple of days after that movie night, we will have what we know as Ask and Awaken. It is an opportunity once a month for us to come together as a family, as a community, to break some bread, right? Eat some good food. It's like a potluck is what we do. That is a QR code that leads to a form where you can sign up and say, hey, I want to bring some chips. I want to bring some quinoa. I want to bring some lasagna, right? And the ask part of that, this is what I love so much, is that it's also on our opportunity to ask questions that we have, whether it's about this spiritual path, whether it's about like this showed up in my life. And on Sunday that Rev Ned gave his talk, he said something, and I think it's connected to what showed up in my life, but how do I make that connection, or how do I walk that out? Or when Minister Shari, I heard her say, right? And it's our time to have that conversation. I love it. I love it. So we eat, we celebrate, because if you've got an anniversary or a birthday that has happened, then we will celebrate you during that time as well. And we will allow you to ask some really good questions, whatever those questions are. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. And then every first Sunday, we also offer a guided meditation. So for those of you that are wanting to deepen that meditation practice that you have and put some structure around it, every first Sunday in the Lighthouse, you can come at 3:30 on the second floor and participate in that. Meditation is a beautiful, wonderful thing. Wonderful thing. If you need prayer, we call them treatments or affirmative prayer. Today, we are in for a treat today. Today, our practitioner of the day is our own spiritual director, Minister Shari. And so if you do need prayer, if there is something that is happening in your life and perhaps you know your consciousness needs to shift, but maybe you just don't know how it needs to shift, or maybe it's already shifted and you just want somebody to know a thing with you, yes, then Minister Sherry is available to do that with you one-on-one right after service. If you are not here, you can still email us at prayer@awakeningcarolina.org, yes? And your prayers will be received, and once it's done, it's done. And so we also offer that if there have been some things that have manifested, if there have been some things, or when there are things that are demonstrated for you, share that with us as well, so that we can share that with community, so that we understand. Yes, yes. Many hands make light work. We are open to receiving the many hands that we know are here for us to support us from a volunteer standpoint, whether it's welcoming, whether it's working the tech booth, whether it's giving Julian some support, right? Whatever that is, whatever your special sauce is, whatever your gifting is, fill out that form that is linked to that QR code and let us know, and we will gladly lock arms with you and continue to build this ever-growing community. Awesome, awesome. And so now we're going to shift our consciousness. We're going to go deeper into our consciousness, which will also take us higher as Sharice comes up and gives us our reading for today.
Thank you, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Great day, great day. I love that. All right. Let's prepare. God is personal. Let me put my glasses on. All right. Withdraw into yourself and look. And if you do not yet see yourself as beautiful, then act as does the creator of a statue. Never cease chiseling away until the divine splendor of virtue shines out on you. Plotinus, Enneads, I-6-9. Okay. We believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence. And that's Ernest Holmes, What We Believe. The same creative intelligence that shapes the cosmos is present within us, not in our bodies, but at the center of our being. This means self-awareness becomes a path to divine knowledge. This is our path to experiencing profound intuition and spiritual realization. These are not simple personal experiences, but internal portals to the infinite mind of God. This can be so profound to some that they completely reject the notion of being divine presence. No, not me, they may proclaim. It is a lot to accept, but once I accepted the truth of this, my intuitive sensitivities opened up wide. Often, when I counsel someone, I stop listening to the story being told and empty my mind. Inevitably, when I stop thinking, a new perception, often in the form of a question, arises in my consciousness, seemingly from nowhere. And it immediately changes the trajectory of our conversation toward a healing outcome. Sometimes, when we attempt to be logical and sensible, we get in our own way. We can all hold the divine as our source, and what may well come through us is something greater than our life experiences could have provided. Affirmation: I always know what I need to know to reveal the divine essence of my being. It's the Science of Mind reading. All right.
Excellent. Thank you, Cherise.
You're very welcome.
Let's affirm that together. Yes? I always know what I need to know to reveal the divine essence of my being. That was powerful. Yes, yes. As Abby is making her way forward, I mentioned how with affirmative prayer, right, that there will inevitably be those moments where a particular thing is demonstrated or a particular thing is manifested. And so to beautiful segue into that, I'm told that Abby has some sharing for us.
I do. Okay. Hi, everybody. If you don't know me, my name's Abby. I've been in this practice and was brought here by my friend Kelly. I don't know how many years ago, 10 or 12? What do you think, Kelly? Yeah. And this is when we started way back in the Actors Theater. So through this, I've learned a lot. I was seeking something different that was sort of on my page. And through the Science of Mind practices, I learned how to write treatments and write them for myself. And some have come through, some have not. And the ones that have not are probably because they weren't supposed to. These things teach you how to stretch and grow and redirect yourself. But I have one thing in particular I want to share about something I manifested. I don't want to take credit for my manifesting it because I used Science of the Mind practices to know that everything was going to be okay, because it did not seem okay. 3 years ago, I was a member of Greenpeace, and we were into solar energy, and we were trying to get schools and churches and things to use solar energy so everybody else might catch on. Well, I had an opportunity to get solar put on my house, which I had always wanted to do, but I had several large trees that I would have had to cut, and I wouldn't have been able to afford cutting them just to get the solar on. So a miracle happened one night. We had a storm, and 3 of these big trees, instead of falling on my house, actually fell the other way somehow, some way. And they were down, so my roof was unobstructed. So I took time to research solar and what it could do for me in my life and the environment. And so I interviewed 3 companies that came to my house. And I ended up selecting one of the companies because this was during COVID. And they had American-made products, so they said in stock. They also had an incentive where if you got somebody else to sign up to get solar on their house, they'd give you $1,000. And since I'm a member of Greenpeace, I thought, no problem, and this is right up my alley. I'm built for sales or whatever, and having all my Greenpeace contacts, I thought, I'll have this loan paid off in no time. And most of the other companies were giving $500, but they were giving $1,000. So I thought, okay, this is the company I want. So I went forward. Everything seemed right, except for they never asked for my financials. And I thought, I probably am not going to qualify because this is a big, huge loan for the solar thing. But they promised that I would never have a power bill again. I would just have the solar loan, which would be less than my normal power bill each month. So I was going to save money there. They promised I'd get 26% back on the loan in one check, so I could lump that onto the loan and reduce that cost. And so they said something else. It'll come to me. But I thought, okay, this is going to be great. I'm going to help the environment. I'm going to save money. Let's do it. So we did it, and then I decided to contact a friend, and he signed up right away. And I thought, I'm going to get this thing paid off in no time. And I always knew in the back of my head it was so expensive, and is this really worth it? But I thought, no, I can do this. So they sent that $1,000 right away. So I was getting ready to call some more people. Then I noticed problems with the system. So I noticed there was cracks in the ceilings. I heard a noise up there, so I had the techs come, which takes forever on the phone. They keep you on the phone for an hour, and then they'll tell you someone's coming, and they don't come. And finally they came. The guy jumped up on the roof, and I was down on the ground with the other tech, and he said, do you know that your roof is about to cave in? I said, no, sir, I did not. There was an engineer that said my roof was sound to hold up this system. So I said, no, I don't. He said, I need to go in and look at your attic. And these are the people that put it up. And he looks at maybe not him, but they represent the company. And he goes to my attic and sees all this leaking. And they had blown in the insulation and everything. Then I noticed there were some warped walls in my home. I started noticing mold. There were electrical glitches. And since I couldn't get Power Home Solar on the phone, because they take so long, I thought, I'm going to call the Generac company, which are the power panels. And so they're looking at my system remotely, and they say, I hate to tell you this, but your panels are put in opposite. They're put in backwards. The whole system's not put up correctly. So therefore, there was spots in my home that had electrical glitches. Pretty soon, my HVAC system went out. My water heater went out. I had leaking in my basement with mold. And so for a good 8 months, I was sitting in my little sitting room, I call it. It's a little middle room because I had no heat or air. And I had an air conditioning unit in the room, okay? So I would sit in there with a towel under the door, and then I would have to make sure that, so all the air wouldn't go out, but the plants were dying, fruit flies, and then in the winter it was freezing. Anyway, I need to wrap up, they say, but it was terrible, okay? It was awful. I didn't know if I could stay in my home. I became depressed. I gained a bunch of weight that I'm still trying to get rid of. And I just kept saying to myself, this is in my favor. This is in my favor. I did nothing wrong. This is all gonna work out. So there was a the solar company filed bankruptcy. So there was no recourse. So I started calling the DOJ, all the departments. I have a thick file of everything that was been said. And also, there was 39,000 other people in my position. So it was all over the news how they were putting out these loans to low-income people like me. I'm by myself, so I really didn't have, I thought I wouldn't qualify for this loan. They never asked for financials, and they're still after me, but the DOJ says not to pay it yet. But anyway, Habitat for Humanity came into my life through a chain of events that's too long to say, but they came and they gave me a new HVA system. They gave me a new water heater. They fixed they took all the solar off my house. I sold it for $5,000 on Facebook. And they fixed all the electrical glitches, all the mold, they fixed the leak. And I just felt like I was reborn, and I was blessed. But all along, I just took this practice and knew in my heart that this would be, God's gift, and that's what happened. So
Abby, I want to. Can I just take a second?
Yeah.
So a couple of things that I have learned, right?
Mm-hmm.
We often, when blessings come in our lives or when things that we pray for are manifested, oftentimes we get so caught up in the pre-story, how things were.
Yes,
right?
Right.
And I think when Minister Shari was like giving you whatever hand signals, we want to get to the good stuff,
right,
because it's the good stuff that is the stuff. The circumstances, they don't matter, right? They have no power, right? But the fact that Habitat for Humanity, there was a particular desire that she had. There was a vibration that she was emitting. And in the end, what happened? Spirit said yes and amen.
Right.
You got a clear house, or a clear roof, right? The trees were knocked down naturally. You got a complete HVAC system. Like you said you felt what?
Oh, I was in despair.
No, right. I don't care about that part. Yeah,
Okay,
the
so
now. Yes.
I mean, I'm living again.
Yes.
I know I can stay in my home.
Yes.
Safely.
Yes.
I can retire in my home.
Absolutely.
I have a sense of security.
And are those
a
things
great
that you
home.
desired prior to?
Yes.
Yes.
I did, but
Yes.
I didn't think I'd be able to.
But you
Now
did.
I did.
Yes.
Because of this.
Because everything that we ask for, and thank you. Can you all give Abby a hand? Yes. Everything that you ask, everything that here's the lesson for everyone that's listening. Everything that we ask, every desire of our heart, there is one answer. Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
And if it's not an immediate yes, it's let me show you what's standing in the way of it.
Right. And
That's
it'll
it.
Show off in
That's
one
it.
way or the other.
That's it. Yes. Yes.
Thank you so much, Abby,
Welcome.
for your bold share. I know I was one of your prayer partners through that. I'm sure Reverend Ned was and Reverend Christy was as well. But I remember standing in the gap with you and knowing that we were going to see.
That's right. We didn't even have to talk about it.
Exactly. I remember sitting in Hug's office and we were going to know the greater. And when she said Habitat for Humanity was showing up, I said, of course it is. So thank you so much for that. And again, yes, let's give it up for Abby, please. Giving her some love and energy, because it takes a lot to come up and share what it is that your hearts desire. And in this moment, again, just giving thanks for each and every one of you that are here present and being present. If we can just take a collective breath, releasing in love that what no longer serves us. Take another breath, and if you could have your feet flat on the floor so you can ground yourself, and I invite you to roll your shoulders just to allow it. Do you feel it? And to know that you can release whatever that no longer serves you in love. And now with this deep knowing, I'm excited. I am so excited right now, knowing that we are entering into the presence The fulfillment of all that we have asked for in our inner knowing. We've walked through that door, and we are open and receptive to hearing a truth, a new truth, something that Reverend Ned is willing to share with us to shift our consciousness in one way or the other, to allow us to contemplate and see and know something greater. And we are so receptive to this community, to be open to that, to bringing us something to look at in a different way. And with this gratitude and with this knowing, we give thanks, we say yes, and so it is. And Reverend Ned, as again, I was saying, I'm excited. You can make your way up. I'm excited because Reverend Ned, anybody know I used to have a pen and pad ready for Reverend Ned because he's going to drop some jewels always. And I'm so grateful for you. And so here you go.
Do you believe in God? Do I believe in God? At first glance, that sounds like a pretty straightforward yes or no question. However, if we look a little bit deeper, we can see that it's more than that. Because one time I had a conversation with an atheist who told me why he did not believe in God. And he said that he understood God to be an all-powerful being that created everything and created all of us. And that he had this desire and expectation of us that we would gather together occasionally and say how great and good and powerful God was and sing songs about him as if the creator of the universe needed a little boost in his self-esteem. And that he also expected of us that we would make certain statements of belief, do certain ceremonies and rituals, and if we did all of that exactly right, we'd get this tremendous reward. Not so much while we're alive, but when we're dead, we'd find out if this God religion thing was worth the trouble. And he said, that doesn't make any sense to me. And I said, well, that doesn't make any sense to me either. However, shortly after that, I had a conversation with a very religious man who told me why he did believe in God. And he said that when he looked at the natural world, he was amazed at the never-ending beauty and intelligence running all through it. And that this was evidence of an all-powerful and intelligent creator. But he said, more than that, it is because of his religious faith that he had a relationship with God that resulted in so many amazing blessings and good things coming into his life experience, that was the real reason. And I said, I feel the same way. So how is it that I can agree with both of these guys? Either I'm just a really agreeable guy, or it means that before any of us can answer this question, do I believe in God? We need to answer some other questions first. What is my belief in God? Does it make any sense or not? Is God an unknowable mystery or a presence and power that we can engage in our day-to-day life? Is God pure goodness and unconditional love? Or does God just randomly open up a can of whoop-ass whenever he feels like it? Is God an all-powerful person or a universal principle? So it is the answers to questions like this that we can reveal to ourselves, what is my belief in God? And when we recognize that God is infinite, that we can know that no matter how big, how magnificent, how profound, how true, how correct anyone's belief in God, or any religion's belief in God, or any spiritual teaching's belief, including our own, will always be less than God itself, and to an infinite degree. So we can see that there's room for improvement, no matter what, to have a greater opening to the source of infinite good. That the only intermediary that any of us has between ourselves and God is our idea of God. Now, the only intermediary that any one of us has between God is our idea of God. And the good news is we can change it. So, Ernest Holmes said that his teaching, The Science of Mind, is open at the top, that it is never finished, and I think that's a pretty practical and empowering idea we can have about our own spiritual awakening. Now, as we awaken to a greater idea of God, we can see it as being basically in three parts: bigger, better, and closer. So, the first category is bigger, which is along the lines of infinity. Now, at first glance, it looks like that'd be pretty easy to do. All you have to do is say, well, I believe God's everywhere present. That's all of space. That's infinite. Done. Well, you can do a lot with infinity. For instance, you could add something else to infinite space, like infinite time. Okay, so we could say that God not only knows everything that's happening, but God knows everything that did happen, and God knows everything that will happen. However, there's a problem with that. And that is, if the future is totally known, then it's fixed and predetermined. And that means we have no free will. We cannot truly choose. We are not responsible for our successes and failures. We are simply passive observers of a pre-written script. Okay, so what do we do about that? Well, a bigger idea of God. Modern science tells us that our perception of time, as most people know it, is an illusion. That is, that what we call past and future has a little bit of truth to it, but it's mostly a tiny view and badly distorted. Now, it's practical. We got our clocks and calendars, and we keep on doing it because that's what we do around here. So what we can do is to look at the idea of God as infinite mind. That God can only think thoughts of perfection, of infinity, of the wholeness of life, and that God is incapable of thinking a thought that is limited or false. Therefore, God has no concept of the past or the future as we do. Instead, God has some form of an eternal now. So, you can see bigger, you can do a lot with infinity. So don't stop. Okay, now, the next one is better. Do you have an idea that God is good? Well, we've heard God is love. That's pretty good. And we can add to that. God is joy. God is beauty. God is success. God is all manner of good, and that we relate to that, and that we always keep our idea to remember that the source of infinite good, well, is the source of infinite good, okay? So, and then there is the third one, closer. That although people are quite capable of thinking God is infinite and everywhere present, and still have an idea of separation between themselves and God. We can do that. So it's like, how close can we be to God? So you may have, that's why we have phrases that you may have heard of. God is closer than our hands and feet. It's pretty close. God is closer than our breath. It's even closer. God's as close as my next thought. And so that we can think along those lines and don't contradict it with any idea that we are separate from our good. So that we can always expand our idea of God, Spirit, whatever you want to call it, bigger, better, and closer. Now, earlier I mentioned a question. Is God an all-powerful person or a universal principle? And I think this is a pretty important question that we could consider. And Ernest Holmes, who established the science of mind, he had some opinions on this matter, and he wrote them down. And in his book, The Science of Mind, I have 2 quotes from him on this matter. So the first one is this: spirituality is natural goodness. God is not a person. God is a presence personified in us. Spirituality is not a thing. It is the atmosphere of God's presence, goodness, truth, and beauty itself. So, sounds like Holmes is pretty much on the principle side of this, okay? But let's compare these 2 views of God. And we could look at them as a contest between these 2 ideas competing in the context of an event that has 3 rounds named bigger, better, closer. And so let the contest begin. In this corner we have God as person, starting out with a little bit of a limitation since person is only in one place. But he makes a quick move toward infinity, stating that almost everyone who believes in God as person also believes that God is everywhere present, thus achieving infinity pretty quickly. Okay, impressive. God as person. And in this corner, we have God as universal principle, stating that principle of such things as mathematics, as the laws of physics, the laws of chemistry, the laws of biology, are the way reality itself functions. That principles are available everywhere and anywhere and are unaffected by anything that happens in circumstance. That principle is true and infinite to an infinite degree. Well, looks like principle is ahead in round 1. Now, we have round 2. Better. In this corner, we have God as person. And he's off to a strong start by saying that as Heavenly Father, he loves everyone in the world at the same time and loves each one of us more than any earthly father possibly could. And he says, as Goddess, loves every one of us more than any mother on earth could ever love her child. Okay, well, that's an impressive start from God as a person. So, in this corner, God as universal principle steps forward and points out that love is a principle that is universal, that God is love. That means that any love that anyone has ever felt for any person or anything, the essence of that love is the literal presence and fullness of God itself. And that love is principle. That means all love is one love. And because it is principle, all love is eternal, meaning none of us can ever truly lose love. We may experience the illusion of being separated from that. Well, that's impressive from principle. Okay, let's see in the third round closer. In this corner, we have God as person, saying that he can hear every prayer of everyone in the world at the same time, fully understand those prayers, and respond instantly. In some cases, respond before the person even utters the prayer. Oh, well, that's pretty close. So, then, what do we have in the other corner? God as principle. Points out all principle, including the principle of life itself, existence itself, creativity itself, intelligence itself, that it is the principle of existence, the I am that I am. And that each one of us, at that point where we feel we are alive and say, I am, we are one with the I am that I am. We touch the heart of the infinite. Well, that's pretty impressive. I think we might be prepared to announce a winner. Wait, I hear from God as all-powerful person points out that we have not heard the second quote from Ernest Holmes. And he's right. So let's go into that right now. Also from The Science of Mind, he says this: we should think of God not only as principle, forever pushing forward into expression, but also infinite personalness. In other words, if we merely think of an abstract principle, a mathematical law of cause and effect, we shall lose all warmth and color. We should be very careful in abstracting the principle, not to forget the essence. There is an inherent necessity for this warmth and color. The universe is more than a law of cause and effect. In each of us, to each of us, through each of us, something spiritual is personified. Spiritual evolution should make the infinite not more distant, but more intimate. So, it appears that Holmes says we can have both. And he recommends that. Okay. So, if we think about that, it is, think of the most loving, tender, compassionate moment that a mother could ever have with her child, or two lovers for each other. That moment that we experience in this world, that is an expression of a universal principle of that warmth and color, that it does connect to the infinite. And also, I like how he ends this quote where he effectively says, our relationship with the infinite is intimate. Our relationship with the infinite is intimate. Isn't that beautiful? I love that. And so, how do I answer the question, do I believe in God? Well, for a practical thing, I will tell you, most people don't want to hear the long answer. So, it'd be simpler for me just to say yes, even though I'm not really communicating much of anything. But, between you and me, I can answer it, at least the way I feel today. It might be a different answer tomorrow, because I hope to have a greater idea. But for today, do I believe in God? I am a living stream of consciousness eternally awakening to my oneness with infinite spiritual perfection and the wholeness of life. I do this in ways that are bigger, better, closer. And as I open up my heart, mind, and soul, the qualities of spirit flow through my awakening mind into my circumstance for the good of myself and the good of all, that we all may have an intimate relationship with the infinite. So that's my answer to the question. So I think I'll close with a short story. One day a man wanted to have a conversation with God. So he went outdoors and he looked up at the sky and he said, "Oh God, is it true that to you a minute is the same as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is the same as a minute?" And there's a rumbling, and then a voice came from the sky. "Yes, that is true." "So, O Lord, would it also be true that to you a penny is the same as $1 million, and $1 million is the same as a penny?" "Yes, that would also be true." "So, oh, your godliness, then would you be able to trade this penny for $1 million?" "Sure, in a minute." Well, he may not have gotten what he wanted, but we can get more of what we want if we open up our heart, minds, and souls to have a greater idea of our connection with infinite good in ways that are bigger, better, closer. And as we do that we may have a relationship with the infinite that is intimate. And so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Ned. I think that deserves a standing ovation with that. I want to give you your applause and your flowers while you're here, because thank you that you always deliver such great jewels. Did you all get something out of that? I tell you, we were picking up what you were putting down. We appreciate you very, very much. And now, as we prepare our hearts and minds for our giving. And to know that it's an honor for us to participate in the law of circulation. Yes, yes. And to be excited about it. To be excited about the giving. I tell you, as Awaken, it may appear that we're small in numbers, but we do a mighty work here. We really do. And just by the people that are called to awaken, you know that you make a difference, that you are significant, that when people see you, see your light, they're like, who are you? What do you know? So thank you so much for participating in this law of circulation with your gifts, your talents, and your energy, which is currency as well. So we're going to do our affirmation. If you can say along with me, divine love moving through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, for the good in my life. For those of you online, we thank you. We appreciate you as well. And you will be able to find our QR codes and a way to give, because we don't want to leave you out. We want to give you that opportunity as well. You can go to awakeningcarolina.org/give, and you can see that our words for this affirmation are in the song. So can you play the Divine Flow song for us, please? And you all, we got to learn this one. All that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, for the good in my life. Love flows in, love flows out. That's what Awaken is all about. Divine love moving through my life. Overflowing joy, peace, and light. Divine love moving through me. Blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, for the good in my life. Flow through me, flow through me. Let the blessings show through me. Divine love, divine love. Everybody say divine love. I give with joy, I give with peace, I give with love, and it goes right back to me. Love flows in, love flows out. That's what Awaken is all about. Divine love moving through my life. Overflowing joy, peace, and light. Thank you, Spirit. And for these gifts that have been offered and gathered, we give thanks for those participating in the law of circulation, giving it in love, giving it in service. And we know it will not return void. We know that this loving gift will multiply. As we've stated, it will multiply. And we give thanks, and so it is. And so it is. Thank you, Spirit. And now, as we are wrapping up, we're going to get into our circle. For those of you who would love to get in our circle, feel free. If you want to stand outside of the circle and give love, that is available to you as well. And while we are getting into the circle, we also ask for you to share a name. It could be your name. It could be someone that needs some additional love. We also are giving thanks in naming countries as well. And I told someone today I was going to mention Angola. Angola. So as we are closing out, giving thanks again, what we know is all there is God. We know that the essence of this supreme intelligence, this divine intelligence, is operating as us, through us, in all ways, always. And we're knowing that we're carrying this essence through this week, knowing that love abounds, knowing that people who experience us will feel God's love, because we are God expressed, and reminding them that they are as well, calling that forth in us all. And knowing that this is so and this is done as we are experiencing radiant health, prosperity, and abundance. We release this into the law of mind, knowing that it is so, it is done, and so it is. And so it is. Thank you, Spirit. Those of you online, thank you again for participating with us, sharing your energy. Let us know where you're here tuning in from. Share and like. And know that there is only one love, one life, and one light. Shining brightly, one love, one life, one light. And we're shining brightly, one love, one life, one light. And we're shining brightly. Lisa, Terry Ann, David, India, Ariana, Alexandria, Brandon, Brandy, Deirdre, Angola, Aruba, shining brightly, Keon, Kayla, Sierra, Sharice, Keith, and we're shining brightly. Create a great week in love, through love, as love. Thank you, Awaken. Shining brightly. Julian. Let's send Julian some love, you all. We missed him last week. Shining brightly, one love, one life, one light, and we're shining brightly.